switch me on.
Hey everybody, welcome back to The Proton Pack is Not a Toy. My name is Matt. I've had some random Ghostbusters Afterlife thoughts bouncing around in my head, as I'm sure a lot of you have too. And just wanted to put those out there for you. And this video isn't going to have a whole lot of structure to it, but just some things I've been thinking about. I just kind of wanted to throw out there for possible discussion with you guys. Before I get into it though, I'm looking over my shoulder here and seeing the Kenner Ecto 1. If you didn't get one the first time they were released, or you want another one, they have them on Walmart.com as a Black Friday deal. So they're available and in stock for $30, normally $40. So grab one while you can. If you wanted to have an extra one to get for an Ecto 1A and get the stickers for it, that'd be a great idea. They also have deals for Stay Puft, and then the Fearsome Flush and the Bug Eye Ghost are Black Friday deals as well. So buy them all if you need them, and I just wanted to put that out there before we get into this. Thoughts. I've seen it 3 times now. I'm planning to go again on Friday, and I'm liking it every time a little bit more and catching things a little bit more every time I see it. When I was looking at the wall when Phoebe was seeing the pictures of her, not Phoebe, Callie was seeing the pictures of herself down in Egon's lab against the wall. It goes real quick and it jumps around, and in between the pictures are little notes. There's one that talks about her freckle count has doubled and her braces are coming next. And then when it shows some pictures of her when she was smaller, I didn't catch what the whole note said, but I did see the date of 1983 on there, which I count as very significant because there's kind of jokes going around. I don't know if they're on my expense or not, but I know I'm not the only one that has talked about who's Callie's mom. Really, that's immaterial. What I've kind of always wanted to know, kind of in a roundabout way for that reason, was how does Callie fit within the Ghostbusters first 2 movies timeline? And if there is a date of 1983, then that obviously puts her prior to the events of the first movie. And who knows if he's already split off from her and her mom by then. She says that she never knew her father, but if you kind of go by a first memory type thing from a child, they could be up to 3 or 4 years old before they remember someone. So saying you didn't know your father, you could potentially have lived with them for a few years and still say that legitimately, that I never knew my father. Anyway, so I found that very interesting that she predates the first movie, and obviously we saw in the movie that Janine wasn't her mom, and so that was easily wiped out. But for him to have that kind of flirty relationship with Janine, to me, would mean that he isn't involved in any other relationship in 1984 when this is all going down. So as he does have a daughter, I'm assuming that he's not involved with that family situation at all at the events of the first movie, or the second movie for that matter. And then when Venkman and Stantz kind of come into the movie, they do seem pretty surprised that Egon had a daughter or a granddaughter, at least the way that I read it when I watched it. So it's not integral to the story of Ghostbusters Afterlife, but those little details, you know, it helps to flesh out not only the characters of Callie and Phoebe and Trevor, but also Egon and the other team as well. So I find it interesting within the confines of the continuity, and that's why I've always cared about it. I wanted to make sure that the people that were making the movie were being careful about the continuity of the story. Obviously, we saw, the first thing we ever saw was that teaser trailer, and it was the back of Ecto 1, and immediately the question was, why isn't it Ecto 1A? Are they skipping over it? Is it canon? And it gets into all that mess. And obviously Jason has said, no, Ghostbusters 2 is canon. There's stuff involved in this movie that's referencing the second movie. And he has also said, as far as that question, he has hinted that the Ecto 1, Ecto 1A question might be answered in a future project, be it some other kind of story or another movie or whatever. Hopefully, for those of us who do care about that kind of thing, we might be able to get the answer to that in another story. So I'm not going to let it bother me to the point where I'm not going to enjoy the movie with that aspect of it. But the continuity, going back to that, for a lot of us, that's important. We just wanted to make sure that the people that were making the movie were taking care of it, and not just kind of picking and choosing which details that they were going to go with, but lumping it all together in the story that we all love. So, speaking of Janine, which I did a few minutes ago, I gathered from the movie that she was Egon's last true friend. Obviously she was paying the bills. She kind of stammered around when she was talking to Callie, calling herself a friend or saying Egon was her friend. So who knows exactly where that friendship or that relationship stood, whether they were close or just barely her checking on him type of a deal. But enough for her to be there in Oklahoma, at least at that moment, roughly a week after he had died. Who knows how often she was there. I do find that interesting. I also find it interesting that she refers to herself as Janine Melnitz, and which would lead us to suspect, possibly assume, that she never married Louis Tully, and obviously didn't marry Egon. So I found that interesting as well. For those wondering about the proton packs that the original Ghostbusters are wearing when they show up at the end of the movie, Ben Eady, he was kind of in the comments of the Yes Have Some video yesterday, and he said that they were Ghostbusters 2 packs, which I took to mean that they were packs that were new but built to the specs of the Ghostbusters 2 packs and those type of details in that style. Obviously, as more reference pictures and information comes out about those packs, I'll kind of take a deeper look, as you might think, not only at the Phoebe pack, but those packs as well. Who knows if we'll get more information on the packs that were in the mine at the temple, that were on the beams or the pillars. Pretty dark in there, so I don't know how much we'll be able to gather from those, but we'll see what we'll be able to do. I can't wait to be able to have this in hand to, push the pause button and go screenshot and frame by frame to catch some of these details, not only the proton packs, but again, the set decorations, the stuff in Egon's lab, and just kind of staring at the screen, looking at every single little item that we only see on screen for brief seconds while we're watching it in theaters. So there's going to be a lot for us to pick out when we do have that ability, and I'm excited about that. I hadn't seen it yet, but people are saying that the Geiger meter is in Egon's lab on the one scene where Phoebe's working on the pack with Egon's help, and he flashes the lamp over at the wall with all of his degrees on the wall. Evidently on one of the tables right there in front of the wall, the Geiger meter is there, and so I'm ready to see it again the next time, and I'll be looking, because I was looking at the details on the actual degrees on the wall, and I'll have to pay more attention to the tables next time. Some people have said that there's also the NES Advantage controller for the Statue of Liberty is somewhere in the movie. I haven't seen it yet, and I don't know exactly where to even look for it. So if you've seen it, or if you've seen any other Ghostbusters 2 references in the movie, let me know in the comments. Tell us where they are so that we can kind of start this Easter egg hunt now that we're seeing it multiple times. We're aware of the story, now we can start looking at some of the little details. Jason Reitman has said that the Mood Slime toaster is in the kitchen. We saw it in the video from Tested where Adam Savage was on set talking to the set decorator, and the toaster and even its box were on the set there. But I haven't seen a clear shot of the kitchen anywhere in the final cut of the movie, unless it's in the background somewhere when Callie and Gruberson are talking to each other when he has the map. I don't know where else to look to see it there. If you've caught it, again, tell me in the comments so I know where to look, because I'm interested to actually see that on the screen. That's pretty much what I've got so far. Again, these are just some thoughts I wanted to get out there and get off my chest. I felt, the need to make a video to talk about this before it's, not a big topic of conversation anymore. I'm really enjoying a lot of the fan response. A lot of my friends and people that I work with are asking me, hey, did you see it yet? What did you think? And for me to be able to talk to them about it, see what they liked and didn't like about it, it's been a really positive response. And that, as a Ghostbusters fan, is really exciting for people to be excited to come up and ask me about, the movie and the fandom. And it's a fun time. There's going to be, a lull after a while. But right now it's fun to ride that wave. Let's go see it as many times as we can. Help this movie make as much money as you can. Tell our friends. Make sure that they tell them this movie needs to be seen on the big screen. Go see it before they take it out of theaters. It's not like when we were kids and a movie would come out in the summer and still be on the screen by the time we go to the school. They only get a couple of weeks, maybe just a month, for this stuff to stay on the screens before they cycle it out and put something else in theaters. So tell your friends, tell your family, don't miss the opportunity to see it in theaters. That's the best option for them to be able to see it. Don't wait till it comes out on Blu-ray or DVD. That also obviously helps the movie make some money at the box office. So good all around, and I'm enjoying a lot of the fan content. And the Just Have Some podcast is killing it, putting a lot of stuff out there. Be sure you're watching all the stuff they have going on. The interview with Jason Reitman that's going to play in the morning. I'm excited to watch that. And again, I'll be on Inside the Booth on the 30th. If you want to stop by and check that out again, it'll be a bigger group there, and we'll kind of have more of a overview of Ghostbusters in general. But we could talk about Afterlife now, which we couldn't do the first time I was on there. So that'll be next Tuesday, and it was great to hear Chris Stewart talking on the cross rip as well. Just a lot of cool reactions, the community getting to be involved with it, and let's just enjoy it while we can. And hopefully, I'm really excited and hopeful about the potential for this kickstarting the franchise into more, whether it's movies or live action series or cartoons that builds off of what we got out of Afterlife, or even maybe fills the gap in between. That'd be great, wouldn't it? The gap between Ghostbusters 2 and Afterlife. If IDW does another comic series to help fill that gap now that we have Afterlife planted and we can kind of build up to it, man, that would be really fun to figure how all that would play out. Since we didn't get all the answers in the movie, to kind of fill in those gaps, the comics have been great at doing that up to this point, even with just the first two movies. So I've rambled on long enough here. I appreciate you for watching. Be sure to like and subscribe if you haven't already. Getting really close to 1,000 subscribers, hoping to be there by the end of the year. So if you've watched 2 or 3 of my videos, and if you've made it to the end of this one and you've enjoyed what you've seen, go ahead and subscribe. That'll help me out, and that'll make sure that you're able to get notified when my videos are coming up. So I'll have more in the future. It is Thanksgiving season, so I can't guarantee when I'll have more out there. But as I have thoughts, as I have reasons to make videos, I'll put them out there, and hope that you guys will enjoy the content and keep watching as well. Thanks again. Enjoy your holiday, and I'll see you next time. Have a good one.